Alright guys, what is up and welcome to another Clash of Clans video, and today we have top 5 Town Hall level 9 farming bases, episode number 2. Now most of these were submitted by you guys, thank you, and I'm not claiming that I am the original designer of these bases, nor are the people who submitted these to me, so just giving credit to the people who submitted them to me. I'm not saying they're the original ones. So anyway, let's get started with our number 5 base. So basically what we're looking for in a Town Hall level 9 farming base is really nice splash damage coverage with the mortars and the wizard towers, and also a centralized clan castle, and as well you want good air defense too, because a lot of people in Town Hall level 9, they're going to attack you with minions and Balloonian strategy, so it's really important to have that air defense covered. So let's talk about these bases. I'm going to talk about the strengths and the weaknesses, starting off with number 5. So looking at this base, we can tell that it's got a centralized clan castle, which is a nice strength of it. It's got really good coverage with the wizard towers. You can see the wizard towers cover pretty much all of the inside of the base, which is really, really nice. The expos are able to reach all the way across the base, which is awesome as well. However, a weakness of this base, or a couple weaknesses of this base, if you look, is the mortars. Looking at these mortars, you got one all the way on the outside here. You could argue that you could change it for the Archer Queen, but still you're going to lack coverage on this left side of the base over here. So I think it's better there, and the Archer Queen in the center is just going to benefit you a little bit more. Another weakness of this base is the traps are not implemented into the base. So you could get hogged pretty easily for a 3-star if somebody really wanted to. Yeah, so this is what made this my number 5 base. It's a really nice layout. You got your compartments everywhere. However, you might get hogged, and you might not have a good time with ground troops with that one mortar being out there. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and move on to base number 4. Alright, guys, so here we are with base number 4. Now, looking at this base, we can see that it is a pretty neat design. This one was submitted to me by G-Man from the clan Eliminate, and it's a pretty interesting base. Looking at the Teslas, that's the first thing I saw when I looked at this base, and I was wondering why there was 2 in the center and then 2 on the top. I think the main reason is because you want to implement your spring traps into the defense, and so I only have 2 down here, and I'm using these ones in case any hogs get in here. I was thinking about putting the other ones up here, but I'm not sure yet since I haven't tried out this base on my own yet. But I have some spring traps over here in case some giants want to go towards those defenses, and some spring traps over here. So we'll see how that works out, but that's a really nice thing about this base is the way the traps are implemented into it. Another nice thing about this base is looking at the Dark Elixir storage. It's in its own compartment in the center, and it's going to be really, really hard to reach. If you have troops that only target defenses, they're going to go all the way around the base, and they're not going to go towards the center, so it's going to be a nightmare for them to get it, unless they just lightning spell it, which some people do that, so if that's your cup of tea, you're going to get the loot from this one. Another nice thing about this base is the way the air defenses are spread out. As you can see, the air defenses cover all of the base. The expos reach all the way across the base. The wizard towers, however, they don't. You know, there's some gaps in the center, so some things could get through, so I don't like that about the base. And I also don't like the fact that the mortars don't cover all of the base. If you look here, this left side is a little bit exposed, but they do have the big bombs in there in case something gets in there, but it still makes it not my favorite. So that's why this base is number 4, guys. Pretty strong farming base overall. Let's see if you guys like it though, but it's my number 4, and let's go ahead and move on to base number 3. Alright, guys, next up for our base number 3, we have a base submitted to me by Clash of Clans Jewish Lewis. He has a YouTube channel as well, and he calls this base the Graveyard. Now, looking at this base, the first thing I noticed was the elixir storages. They're on the outside, so I did a little bit more like digging as far as like looking around and like the reasons why he did this, and looking at it, it looks like this base is more focused on protecting your gold storages. I mean, if you look at the gold storages here, if someone attacks you from the bottom, they're going to have a bad time getting through all these traps. I mean, there's spring traps everywhere. They're probably going to go towards those elixir storages. They're going to be hit by mortars, wizard towers, cannons, archer towers. It's just not a good time. There's some bombs in there. So I like the way the traps are implemented into this base. It's along the outside, and anything that's going to attack you from the air is going to have a difficult time towards the center. So it's very focused on ground troops around the outside and air troops towards the inside. And I really like the way he made these compartments for the air bombs and air traps. I think that's really, really cool. The Expos reach across the whole base, which is another benefit. The Teslas, they're in the center as well, which is always good. Your Heroes in the center. And look at this clan castle radius, guys. It's completely in the center. So it's not going to be lured out by any troops that are put down on the outside. That's really nice about this base. And if you're someone who likes to protect your Dark Elixir, I know I am. I mean, at Town Hall level 9, it's pretty hard to collect a whole lot. So I just put it in the center. You can switch in and out, but I think it's better to have your clan castle in the center, just because you're going to have more defense for anything that's going to try to get there. So really cool base. I like the symmetry of it. It's a really cool design. The weaknesses of this base, however, though, I feel like the mortars, they're too far along the outside, and someone could attack you from the top here, and they're going to have a pretty easy time. I mean, there's no mortars there, so they could probably breach through to the center at the top, and you're going to get a little bit weak. They'll probably get around 3 or 4 storages before their attack is over, but pretty strong base overall, guys. This is my number 3. You can tell me what you guys thought about this base, and yeah, let's move on to base number 2. Guys, next up we have base number 2. Now this one was submitted to me by Cater from Angels and Devils. Now this base, when I first saw it, I was a little confused on what the goal was. Considering where the Teslas are, I thought the Teslas would be better off in the center. But then I realized the Teslas are on the outside, so it can lure in any Giants or Hog Riders that go towards it. And they'll be met with a Spring Trap right after they kill the Teslas, or they'll be met with some Wizard Towers. Expo and the Archer Queen is going to be able to lure. Same thing with the King up here. Another good thing I like about this base, guys, is if you notice the Wizard Towers, they're really, really close in proximity in the center. And you got pretty good coverage with the mortars. Not the best. It's not the optimal layout with the mortars, but it is pretty strong. The traps are implemented into the base nicely, which I really like. And I also really, really like how all the storages are in separate compartments. Not a single one is in the same compartment. Your clan castle's in the center. It's really hard to lure. If you look, you have to get troops actually inside the base in order to lure the clan castle. The Expos reach across the whole base, which is nice. A little downside of this base, though, is someone's going to get 50% on you regardless. They're going to get the 2-star. They can put some troops down on the outside and pretty much kill you with archers and barbarians, but that's okay. Your air bombs, or your seeking air mines, and your air bombs are all along the outside, so any minion attacks that come at you or balloonian attacks that come at you are going to be hit by those, which is nice. But overall, pretty strong base. Little lacking in the mortar coverage, but I'm not complaining. Heroes are nice. Clan castles in the center, yada yada yada. We're going to move on to base number 1 now and finish this farming base episode up. I will see you guys over there. Right, guys, and last but not least, we have base number 1. Now, this one was my favorite of the bunch, and at first it was a little deceptive. I looked at it. I found this one in matchmaking, by the way. I looked at it and I said, okay, these storages down here at the bottom looks like they're really, really easy to go get to with just some wall breakers and then some giants. But then I looked at what was next to it, and you have wizard towers and mortars stretching to it. Archer towers reaching to it, so you have a whole bunch of defenses that are going to collapse down on anything that attacks from there. You could even move some of these traps there if you wanted to. I feel like they're a lot better here because anybody who puts down giants, those giants are going to go right towards that opening and go towards the archer tower because that's the first defense there available. Or they're also going to go for this archer tower up here. So they're going to be met by a lot of traps. So it's very deceptive. Any troops that you put down right here, or any troops that target defenses are going to either go left towards the archer tower or right towards this archer tower, and they're going to meet a whole bunch of traps. So really deceptive base design here. It's kind of like a southern teaser of a farming base. If you attack from the top, though, you're going to be met with all 3 mortars. The mortars are going to be able to reach you as soon as you get to the storages there, and this mortar is going to hit you as well. You're going to have a lot of splash damage, and you're not going to be able to reach the center. Expos are nice because they reach all the way across the base. The clan castle is centralized, so it's really hard to lure heroes in the center, which is nice. Teslas were the only thing that I'm a little bit weary about. I mean, they don't really cover anything much. Air defense coverage is pretty good on this base. It could be a little bit better. I think it's a little bit spread out. It is reaching all the way across the base, though, which is really nice. Actually, now that I'm looking at it again, it is really nice air defense coverage. Their air bombs are spread out nicely. The only downside I think this base has is if somebody just rushed towards it with some P.E.K.K.A.s or some golems, yeah, you're going to get there pretty quick. But overall, it was my favorite base of the bunch. Guys, let me know what your favorite base out of these was. If you guys think you have a better base, be sure to submit those to me on Twitter. You guys can follow me on my Twitter. It's BJKindiveyt. And the next time I go ahead and make one of these episodes, I'll ask you guys for bases. I think the next one I want to do is top 5 Town Hall level 10 farming bases. There's a lot of people who request that, and I don't have that yet, so I will be looking for bases from that. I don't know if I want to do that this week or next week, but we'll see. But let me know what you guys thought about this video in the comments down below. Let's see if we can hit 1,000 likes on this video, and you guys like, comment, subscribe, and take it easy.